now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Hey, Israel, we've been going through a little bit of technical difficulties, right? So me and Brother Daniel, we're going to need you guys' help, as usual, to put a 1 in the comment board if you can hear us, and a 2 if you can't. Right?
Shabbat shalom, Yasharel.
Khan,
Make sure
and
I'm
again,
not breaking up.
Khan, and again, right? Shabbat shalom. All
Yeah.
right.
It already booted me off like 3 times already.
All right. So Israel, if it becomes a problem, we might have to reschedule it for a little bit later if we continue to be harassed in the lesson. Can you guys hear Brother Daniel good? All right, Brother Daniel, go ahead and talk for a little bit, man, and see if they can hear you.
What's going on? What's going on, Yasharel? Pray that everybody's having a blessed day. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. All right.
Go on. I see we get 1s in the comment board. All praises to the Most High. Right. All right. As you see, before we get into the lesson, we're going to start in Jubilees, chapter 1. And I read, what do I read? What, the first 3 verses out, and then you take over? Or do I read up to 10?
Okay.
Okay, Kanye, man. I read up to 10 and you take over at 11. All right. Here we go. And it says, and do thou right, right? And this is the Book of Jubilees, verse 1. And we always read this because this has to do with the Shabbat, right? And the Shabbat is a weekly thing, right? Something that's always been on this earth, and even before the earth was created, the Shabbat has always been in existence, right? The day of rest. All right, it says, and do thou write for thyself all these words, which I declare unto thee this day. For I know their rebellion and their stiff neck, before I bring them into the land of which I swear unto their fathers, to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob, saying, unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey. And they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to strange gods, to gods which cannot deliver them from aught of their tribulation. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them, for they will forget all my commandments, even all that I command them. And they will walk after the Gentiles, and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and will serve their gods, and these will prove unto them an offense, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. All right, Israel, looks like we're having a problem with Brother Daniel. He just, let's see, give him a second and see if he pops back on. And we'll continue reading and see if he pops back on. All right, it says, and many will perish, and they will be taken captive, and will fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my ordinances and my commandments and my festivals of my covenant and my Shabbats and my holy place, which I have hallowed for myself in their midst, and my tabernacle and my sanctuary, which I have hallowed for myself in the midst of the land, that I should set my name upon it, and that it should dwell there. All right, give me a second, Israel. Technical difficulties. All right, Khan. I'm just going to read the whole thing, wait for Brother Daniel to restart. All right. And I'm going to start at verse 10. And it says, and they will make to themselves high places and groves and graven images, and they will worship each his own graven image as to go astray. And they will sacrifice their children to demons and to all the works of the error of their hearts. And I will send witnesses unto them, that I may witness against them, but they will not hear, and will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the law, and they will abrogate and change everything as to work evil before my eyes. And I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity and for prey and for devouring. And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the Gentiles. All right. Israel will be scattered amongst the Gentiles. Salaki. And they will forget all my law, right? Which we have because we're in the land of the heathen. And all my commandments, right? We don't know the Lord's commandments. Well, at least not the majority of us. And all my judgments. And we damn sure don't know the judgments of the Most High. We won't be doing what we be doing, right? And will go astray as to the new moons and the Sabbaths and the festivals and the Jubilees and the ordinances. And after this, they will turn to me from amongst the Gentiles, and with all their heart, and with all their soul, and with all their strength. I will gather them from amongst the Gentiles, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them, when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul. And I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness, and I will remove them the plant of uprightness, with all my heart and with all my soul. And they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they shall be the head and not the tail. All right. Shalom, 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 Israel, to all who's joining and continuing to join us live. May the Most High be with you. All right. You and your family and those that keep the law. Brother Daniel should be coming back on here right about now. All praises to the Most High. All right.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Something's going on, man. It keeps booting me off every time. I just started restarted my computer, and it's still the same.
Khan. All right, Israel. That means I want y'all to shout a prayer out, because the Most High, He's controlling everything, even these signal waves that go through the air. Make sure we get a nice, clear, precise signal for Brother Daniel, right? Because we want to break down this thing that we got for you guys today, right? The synagogue of Satan, right? The hand in every pocket. So in order not to get this video taken down today, right, we're going to try to avoid to say certain names of certain peoples, right? But I'm pretty sure you guys will know exactly who I'm talking about as we go through these scriptures, right? As we go through these examples and things like that, all right? Oh, man, looks like we lost Brother Daniel again. All right. We'll see if Brother Daniel gets a chance to reboot. Right, but for the meantime, in between time, let's start with the verse. Slocky is I'm a bit distracted because I know what's going on with Brother Daniel's internet tonight. All right. So, anyways, right. So, before we jump into some scriptures, right, we're going to discuss the synagogue of Satan. Right, and then we're going to discuss, like, where do these certain people, where do they come from, right? Where do these people come from? I mean, like, because we really don't know, right? Because when we've seen the scriptures, we read scriptures like Isaiah 11:11, and other scriptures that says, "Whether dispersed or spread it," right? We see that it wasn't in those lands, even though we are in the 4 quarters of the earth. All right. And another thing, right? So we're just going to deal with Judah today, right? Like we're dealing with the scriptures, because these people that claim to be these imposters that claim to be us, but they're not, right? We're going to go and we're just going to break down how just literally, right, from this lesson right here, Israel, you'll understand for a fact it is literally impossible. It's impossible for them to be us in any circumstance. And these are the true synagogue of Satan, right? These people are the true synagogue of Satan. They're the secret government, the shadow government, the hand, right? The shadow hand that's behind every wicked deed. Slocky Israel. Give me a second right here. Something's going on with Brother Daniel's computer. And I don't want to do the lesson without Brother Daniel. And that's just not how it goes down. If it turns out that Brother Daniel is not able to get back on Israel, Slakia to you guys, but we will have to reschedule for a little bit later on today. Whenever we get this internet thing straightened out. I'm gonna wait for a little minute here and see what he has going on. Before I start. Jeez. All right. We're gonna start with a little translation, right? I know everybody has heard of AH, and the German situations that we had from a while back. Not us personally, but those people that are claiming to be us. And I'm gonna be real careful about my language on here, because I don't want to get this thing taken down, right? Because this is going to be something important for you guys, right? So a lot of back in those days, right, they were able to sow a lot of controversy, right, and a lot of falsehoods, because no one was able to no one was able to truly understand what the other language was, because pretty much everybody spoke English. Nobody really spoke German then. So they could listen to anything they were saying and they didn't really understand it. But thank God for the technology of today, we'll be able to actually understand what the situation is and see how it applies to things of today, right? Even the things that we're going through right now. Brother Daniel.
Yes, I can hear you a lot clearer. I can hear you a lot clearer now.
Khan, all praises. That's right. Appreciate y'all, Israel, for throwing up them prayers for Brother Daniel. All praises to the Most High. Khan. All right, Brother Daniel, I was about to just jump into playing this video real quick, but if there's something you want to add before I go into doing that, brother, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I kind of missed what you were saying, so I just got on.
Okay, well, just to revamp, I was just pretty much saying how I was going to be careful about my verbiage of certain groups of people, so we don't get this video taken down. And I was saying that that these people are the true synagogue of Satan, the true hidden hand behind all wickedness that is transpiring here, and the hand in every pocket. Yeah.
And you know the crazy part, before you show that, the crazy part about that is that they know it. And I'm gonna tell you how they know it, because if you notice, most of the Hollywood movies that star us in it, they always throwing little hints at us that like we're the children of the Most High. Y'all remember that movie, the first Black Panther, not the second one, but the first one. Remember Killmonger was in that museum, and remember the little tassel hanging from his jacket?
Con.
Yeah, stuff like that they'll point out and everything. They'll hint, but they'll mock us to our face because they know that we don't know anything.
Facts, and that's the problem, man. We just don't know anything. Yeah. Salakia. Salakia. All right, still getting over a cold, Israel. Y'all gotta bear with your brother. All right, here we go. Let's start this video. All right, let's start this video up. It's only 7 minutes long. I'm gonna periodically pause it so we can discuss how those things, how certain things that AH, as y'all can read right here in the bottom left hand corner, this guy, right, how he's explaining what was going on in his time, right, with those same particular individuals, right.
Please be advised that this video includes translations of historical speeches or and styles. These reproductions may contain controversial, sensitive, or outdated viewpoints and language. The content is presented in its historical context and does not reflect the views or values of this channel. Viewer discretion is advised, particularly for younger audiences.
Du meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin. In connection with the Jewish question, I have this to say. It is a shameful spectacle to see how the whole democratic world is oozing sympathy for the poor, tormented Jewish people, but remains hard-hearted and obdurate when it comes to helping them, which is surely, in view of its attitude, an obvious duty. The arguments that are brought up as an excuse for not helping them actually speak for us Germans and Italians. For this is what they say. 1, we, that is the democracies, are not in a position to take in the Jews. Yet in these empires, there are not 10 people to the square kilometer, while Germany, with her 135 inhabitants to the square kilometer, is supposed to have room for them. 2, they assure us we cannot take them unless Germany is prepared to allow them a certain amount of capital to bring with them as immigrants. For hundreds of years, Germany was good enough to receive these elements, although they possessed nothing except infectious political and physical diseases. What they possess today, they have by a very large extent gained at the cost of the less astute German nation by the most reprehensible manipulations. Today, we are merely paying this people what it deserves.
Okay, so what is he saying so far, right? So just a quick breakdown, right? Because I'm not sure, right? If y'all can hear it clearly, I also want y'all to put a 1 in the comment board if y'all can hear this clearly, right? If y'all can hear this clearly, I want y'all to put a 1 in the comment board, right? Because see, what he's saying is that there was a people that came to his nation, and that the rest of the world, they didn't recognize these people to be who they say they would be, and they were not going to house these people, right? And we know who these people we're talking about, right? these Ish people, right? So they was not going to house these people, right? So in saying that they wasn't going to house these people, right, it fell upon the Germans, right, to house these certain people. And now Mr. AH here, he is complaining and saying that the area that is known as Germany is very, very small, and they don't have that much land to be given to a whole other people, right? And then now on top of that, they bring nothing to the table. They have no resources, and all the resources that they're gaining, right, is coming through wicked political ideas in the ways that they're taking over their nation. He's saying through the less astute German, which means that these particular people, right, this synagogue of Satan has come in through the German nation, and like a plague, right, they have infected, right, the banking systems, right, the political systems, and we know that later on, what was the issue, right? They had taken over completely over the whole system to the point that they had to have a wheelbarrow full of money just to buy bread, right? So in these particular situations, that's what caused this guy right here to rise up and fight against the insurgency that was in his country. Could we blame him?
When the German nation was, thanks to the inflation instigated and carried through by Jews, deprived of the entire savings which it had accumulated in years of honest work, when the rest of the world took away the German nation's foreign investments, when we were divested of the whole of our colonial possessions, these philanthropic considerations evidently carried little noticeable weight with democratic statesmen. Today, I can only assure these gentlemen that thanks to the brutal education with which the democracies favored us for 15 years, we are completely hardened to all attacks of sentiment. After more than 800,000 children of the nation had died of hunger and undernourishment at the close of the war, we witnessed almost 1 million head of milking cows being driven away from us in accordance with the cruel paragraphs of a dictate which the humane democratic apostles of the world forced upon us as a peace treaty. We witnessed over 1 million German prisoners of war being retained in confinement for no reason at all for a whole year after the war was ended. We witnessed over 1.5 million Germans being torn away from all that they possessed in the territories lying on our frontiers and being whipped out with practically only what they wore on their backs. We had to endure having millions of our fellow countrymen torn from us without their consent and without their being afforded the slightest possibility of existence. I could supplement these examples with dozens of the most cruel kind. For this reason, we are.
Hey, so I really hope you're paying attention. Now, with the technology of AI and everything, have been able to translate this. Now, this could have been translated a long time ago, but you know the powers that be kept this from getting out. Now, you got to understand what he's talking about here, because this is the reason why they went to a World War II. All right, because World War II, if you there's an old heathen out there by the name of Albert Pike. All right, so all three world wars would eventually be planned out. You know, the first war was to set up or to try to make the way for destruction of communism, and then World War II was to set up the Ish state. That's what World War II is all about, and this is why these guys were going to war with that. So everything that he's saying up until now is the reason why, you know, he had no choice. He had to go to war, but they'll make it seem like, and they'll put like a mark on it, you know, and classify him. Hey, this dude is all kinds. He's wicked. He's evil. He did all this stuff, but people don't understand the political reasoning behind it. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Right, and this is like a little light part of it, right? This right here is a little light part of it, but we're going to continue to play the rest of it, right? And I want you guys to see that, man, this is you're going to see, man, that this guy right here, man, he was up against an insurgency, and just like any leader or any person that stands up for their own people against a foreign people, against a strange people in their nation, you know, it's gonna, you know, a war's war, right?
Asked to be spared.
Exactly.
All
Khan, you good, Ak?
No, I'm good.
Mental talk. The German nation does not wish its interests to be determined and controlled by any foreign nation. France to the French, England to the English, America to the Americans, and Germany to the Germans. We are resolved to prevent the settlement in our country of a England to the
listen to that right quick, okay?
I could supplement these examples with dozens of the most cruel kind. For this reason, we ask to be spared all sentimental talk. The German nation does not wish its interests to be determined and controlled by any foreign nation.
You see that? He does not wish the interests of his nation to be controlled by some foreign nation, right? Because all, just like us back, when we had our own country, nobody had influence on us, right? We kept the laws of the Most High God, and we did our own thing. Every people has their own, has their own thing, right? And then, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong for having love for your own people and don't want somebody that's, not your people to come in and start taking over stuff. It's the same thing in America, right? This is why racism or whatever it is, this will always be an issue. This is not our land.
Mm-hmm.
This is
and
not our land.
what's so crazy about that too? Exactly what he was saying, that he didn't want, have no interest in the foreign nations running their country. You look at the continent of Africa. All right, Africa has the richest resources in the world: diamonds, oil, tea, minerals, you name it. They have all these resources. But why is the majority of the people in most of those countries living in poverty? You see what I'm saying? Because it's a result of the outsiders coming in, colonialism, and taking over and ruling those people. But yet, these so-called African leaders, have allowed them to come in because of their greed to take control. See, this is what Hitler was trying to prevent. Didn't want that, because he's seen, the effects of colonialism and what it can do to a nation. All right. And this is the same reason why the Most High did not want us integrating with other nations. Why? Because it's like a cancer. It affected us. So therefore, he had to allow us to go into captivity. And like Brother Eitan was saying, as long as we were keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes, nobody couldn't touch us. We had our own. We were doing our own thing, and and we could do that. We were the head. Other nations was coming to us.
And then, okay, also Israel, right? Y'all got to also keep in mind, where does it say in the scriptures, right? Where does it say in the curses that once Israel got, spread to the four corners of the earth, or Judah got spread to the four corners of the earth, right? That they all of a sudden start taking over nations from the inside and running the bank systems and living wealthy and rich. Come on, man. That is not in the scriptures. That's not in there.
Exactly. And you got a town in South Africa right now. It's an all white town. They don't even allow. And what's so funny is that these South Africans, they have to get permission. They're not even allowed to go inside this town. How in the world do you create an all white town in somebody else's backyard? And then tell them you can't come in here. That is crazy, y'all. But that's what's happened.
France to the French, England to the English, America to the Americans, and Germany to the Germans. We are resolved to prevent the settlement in our country of a strange people which was capable of snatching for itself all the leading positions in the land, and to oust it. For it is our will to educate our own nation for these leading positions. We have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children of peasants and of the working classes. We shall have them educated. In fact, we have already begun. And we wish that one day they, and not the representatives of an alien race, may hold the leading positions in the state together with our educated classes. Above all, German culture.
I'm gonna restart that part, right? I want y'all to really listen to that, because what's that happening today, right? They're all in the what? They're here in America, and not that I care about these other so-called heathens that are running the land, but though this synagogue of Satan, right? They have come and they brought their same ideas, right? The same ideas that they portrayed over there: pornography, kiddie porn, and all of these transgenderism and selling whores and all of these things right here. These are the same things that they were doing over there in Germany, right? And now when you look at it, who owns the porn league? Who owns the porn? The major porn industries over here, they do, right? Those ish people, they own it. Who owns all the social media and the media sites? They own it, right? Who owns the banks? They own it. Right? You got to look at these people, right? These people are really the ones that are pushing, the wickedness in the land. They're claiming to be what? When they have the largest gay parade in the world with over 250,000 homosexuals in Tel Aviv. That's in the heart of so that's in the heart of the land. That's wickedness. And they claim to be the people of God, right? But these
and then people still believe that, Joe. Yeah, people. How can you even let that alone right there? I to tell you, and you got millions of people believing that these are the people.
All right, let's play that.
They wore on their backs. We had to endure having millions of our fellow countrymen torn from us without their consent and without their being afforded the slightest possibility of existence. I could supplement these examples with dozens of the most cruel people. We have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children of peasant land.
All right, here we go. Listen.
The Germans, we are resolved to prevent the settlement in our country of a strange people which was capable of snatching for itself all the leading positions in the land and to oust it. For it is our will to educate our own nation for these leading positions. We have hundreds of thousands of very intelligent children of peasants and of the working classes. We shall have them educated. In fact, we have already begun, and we wish that one day they, and not the representatives of an alien race, may hold the leading positions in the state together with our educated classes. Above all, German culture, as its name alone shows, is German and not Jewish, and therefore its management and care will be entrusted to members of our own nation. If the rest of the world cries out with a hypocritical mien against this barbaric expulsion from Germany of such an irreplaceable and culturally eminently valuable element, we can only be astonished at the conclusions they draw from this situation. For how thankful they must be that we are releasing these precious apostles of culture and placing them at the disposal of the rest of the world.
Hey, what did he say? The precious apostles of culture. They didn't say that they was the people, right? You got to right. You got to really understand. Like, this says that these people, he knows that these are not the real people. They're trying to uphold our culture.
In accordance with their own declarations, they cannot find a single reason to excuse themselves for refusing to receive this most valuable race in their own countries. Nor can I see a reason why the members of this race should be imposed upon the German nation, while in the states, which are so enthusiastic about these splendid people, their settlement should suddenly be refused with every imaginable excuse. I think that the sooner this problem is solved, the better, for Europe cannot settle down until the Jewish question is cleared up. It may very well be possible that sooner or later, an agreement on this problem may be reached in Europe, even between those nations which otherwise do not so easily come together. The world has sufficient space for settlements, but we must once and for all get rid of the opinion that the Jewish race was only created by God for the purpose of being in a certain percentage a parasite living on the body and the productive work of other nations. The Jewish race will have to adapt itself to sound constructive activity as other nations do, or sooner or later it will succumb to a crisis of an inconceivable magnitude. One thing I should like to say on this day, which may be memorable for
Hey,
others,
stop right there for a minute. Stop right there for a minute. I wanted that last part. He said that. Can you rewind that some, man? He says unconceivable magnitude. Go back if you can, like, replay that part.
Or sooner.
Yeah. Okay.
The Jewish race will have.
Okay. So did y'all hear what he said? He said it would get to an inconceivable magnitude. Now he's right, because look what's happening right now. Y'all know, like homosexuality is just out of control. Transgenderism. They teaching kids sexuality, differences in the schools, trying to succumb and coerce little boys to think that they're little girls and little girls to think that they're little boys. It has gotten so bad that the Most High had to allow Trump just to get in office, just to tame some of that. He's not going to stop, but just to tame, because the Most High, he sets up and he takes down. All right. So when he said that, he's exactly right, because everything is at its precipice right now. All the wickedness and And this is why our people are struggling so bad, because we're, and it's bad enough that we're over here in captivity, but we're jumping into everything that the heathens are doing, and it's getting our people in trouble. And that's what he mean when he said that inconceivable magnitude. It's almost there, y'all. Even in this day.
God. Now I don't want to play any more of that because that video got removed off of YT. Right. I don't want to say it like that because I don't want to trigger anything. Right. But you would see why though. Right. Because like these people and forever have always been trying to hide the truth. Right. These guys are a parasite on the people. Nowhere in the scriptures does it say that that we're going to be, it said that we're going to be cursed in the streets. We didn't say that we're going to be owning banks, owning social media companies, stacking up all having our hand in everybody's pocket. Nah, man, that's not what the scriptures say. These people do not fit the script. These people do not fit the scriptures. Now, right, what I want to do is I want to harp on one particular thing. Right now, that I want to go and I want to get them in the scriptures, right? Because I want to harp on one particular thing before we take off, because I want to absolutely prove for a fact that them people can no way and no way at all could they ever be Judah, right? Because they claim to be, those people, right? So we're going to concentrate on the line of Judah just for today, right? We don't even need to go anywhere else, even though I can't break it down. We can go to the other lines of Israel. We can also prove that they're Israelites, right? They're melanated. Right, they are a melanated people, but for right now, we're just going to concentrate on the line of Judah, right? To show that these folks, right, with the top hats, right, with the little stupid thing on the back of their freaking hat, you say with the little stupid thing on the back of their head or whatever they got on, right? Hey, man, those are not the real people of the Bible, right? These folks are the synagogue of Satan. All right, let's go to Genesis 38. Let's go to Genesis 38. Give me a second. Let me stop sharing real quick. Hey,
yeah, while he's bringing that up, in the world is this tells you how dumb the world is. Even the scripture says that when Yahshua returns to its original land, they will study war no more. The Most High has been showing the world that these people had nothing but war. There's just always war. Now, if these supposed to be the people, and when they returned, so-called, when they called the passage of return back in 1948, they shouldn't be having no war right now. I mean, look at it. The Most High has already showing you, even into this day. They're getting bombed, and they dying off. They dying of cancer at the highest rate. But see, they suppress all that because they don't want the world to know that those people is not supposed to be over there. They can't handle that sun like that, like we can. They're not supposed to be over there. Yeah, that you look up the rate of skin cancer, and it has the highest skin cancer rate of any other country. Go figure. Go ahead, I'll bring it.
All right, so we're going to go to Genesis 38, right? We're going to start at verse 1 because we got to show, first of all, right, the true lineage. And see, this is what they when we're able to prove the lineage. And this is in the beginning. This is in the Torah, so this is nothing that they can argue with or try to, this is not true. And it says, and it came to pass at that time, right, that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Sarah. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, right? A daughter of a certain Canaanite, right? So look, right, let's go ahead real quick. Let's bring out some proof, right? Boom. Right. So we got here, right? I love bringing this up, right? So this is out of this Bible dictionary. which is accurate, right? To say the least, right? Well, so far as I've seen, as I've been reading it over the many years, it says the youngest son of Noah, born 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. And he became the progenitor. The dark races, not the Negroes, right? Okay, so he became the progenitor of the dark races, right? Ham, right? So we're talking about Ham. Ham is the progenitor of the dark races. The Egyptians, right? Not us, of course. It says the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites, right? So we go even today, you can look over there in the land over there, the Ethiopians and all of those. Right? Hey, those people are, they're very dark skinned, right? They're very blessed with melanin, right? So what does that mean? Or could they look like, those people that claim they are Jews and are not? Right? This is a clear indication, right? So if we see that he did what, he married a daughter of a Canaanite woman. You know what I'm saying? He married a daughter, a Canaanite woman, a black woman, a dark black woman at that, because in those times, we were damn near close to creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
A dark black woman whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in unto her, right? So, and guess how many wives that Judah had? Only one. That's the only wife he had, right? So how these people going to sit over here and they're going to call themselves, those type of people when they look nothing like the people that are described in the scriptures, right? They are not these people, right? And so this right here, if anything, you guys have to make sure you have this on hand at any particular time, because this is a serious cut, and this should be a serious uplifting to yourself to know that those people are not the people that they claim to be. Right? We even heard it from your, the other guy, right? The German guy, right? That we're not going to say. This is clear, right? These people are the synagogue of Satan. Brother Dan, you had anything you want to say?
Yeah, they can't. They can't even trace their own origin back. Like, you would never, if you study the history of these people, they've never, because they came out of the Ottoman Empire. They never went through captivity. They never. These were so-called converts. Like 500 years. It was like around 500 AD, because nobody was even. It was the they so-called the Moors that were still occupying that region of the area, and those people were still they were dark-skinned people, dark-skinned to light brown people that were living over there. They looked just like us, because remember, not all of Israel left. All right, you still have a lot that remains, because when you read, as a matter of fact, let me just bring out this right quick. Let's go to put this on the screen before you bring it out. So I want to bring a hard point. This is another cut too. So let's look at Isaiah chapter 11. All right, Isaiah chapter 11, and let's look at verse. You know what? Here, let me do it this. Let me do it this. 11. No. I know, but I want to bring it out in this other one. So just for the edification of the rules and everything, because it talks about where our people are going to be scattered at when the Most High delivers His people. All right, and now you know that these people they cannot fit. It's impossible for them to fit that description. All right. There's this it can't be done. No matter how you twist it, try to defy it, it cannot be done. All right. And here's your absolute proof right here. So Isaiah 11, and I'm going to read 11 and 12. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set His hand again." What does that say? Again, the second time. All right. Has the Most High came back yet? The second time? Absolutely. You know the answer. So how can those people actually be the people then? And it says, "And it shall come to pass that day that the Lord shall set His hand again the second time to recover the remnant." What's the remnant? Those that are left behind, or a portion that is left. The remnant of His people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. So that's the Mediterranean. You know, a majority of these places are in the so-called the Middle East. All right. That's, you see, and right here is the biggest cut, because if these people are claiming to be us, then they would have to fit this prophecy right here. then that means that Hamashiach would have already came back already, and we missed it. I don't think so. And then it goes on to say in verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel, and gather the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Now we know that Judah is scattered everywhere. Judah is in Africa. Judah is in Australia, New Zealand. We have Judahs everywhere. But specifically, it specifically says that the outcasts of Israel are scattered in these certain regions. Now that doesn't mean that we have there's some of the northern tribes here in other places outside of that. But these are just the concentrated places where the Most High is going to deliver them.
Con. Hey, I want to bring out. I really want to bring out on a chapter. I mean, a verse 12 there. All right, where it says.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right, so something I wanted to share too. All right, so we're talking about verse 12 there, right? It said Judah was going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth, right? It's lucky Israel. Look at this cold. Right, so most of the time, every single time, I mean, like we might have came up as far as Iraq or Iran or like places over here, right? But these people, right, that claim to be us, right? They were here, right? They were here. If you go through the place where they dwelt, but prior to coming to Germany, they dwelt in Poland, right? And I have also a video of them even actually saying that themselves through one of their studies that they dwelt in Poland, right? So like nowhere in the scriptures does it say that we ever traveled over here. You know, this is not a place that we normally travel to, even though it says that Judah was what came from the four corners of the earth. They're trying to say that whole people right there, that's Judah. Right, that's the Jews.
And then Ukraine. Okay, so look at Ukraine. Ukraine is the birthplace. It's their home place. Now, what was the Benjamin Netanyahu? Y'all remember him, right? He's the one that has the Russian accent. Why do you think he sounds Russian? Because that was the region where they came from. So Ukraine, if you study the history of Ukraine broke away shortly after the fall of the Berlin Wall. All right, Ukraine got its. I forgot what year. You have to look it up. But Ukraine got its independence, and this is why Russia has been going to war with these guys, because now these same people, these same ish people, are trying to turn it again like they did when it was in Germany, and the same thing here in America. So it's a NATO protected. It's a NATO. If you notice that NATO, they protect those certain countries or interests where these ish people have control.
The funny thing is. Right. The funny thing is, even about this. Go ahead.
Hold on for a minute. Yeah. And if you follow the politics, and you can see, you follow the money, you can see which nations that these people are controlling. But Ukraine is their birthplace. That's where they came from. Look up the Passage of Return in 2013, where the Khazars' covers were blown. They were trying to go back to Ukraine, but Russia stopped that real quick. So now they're stuck. They're stuck with a lie. So now they're having to massage this lie, but it's falling apart, y'all.
So to pick back on the point that I was making earlier was dealing with when I was saying that these people are coming from Poland, right? And I'm gonna show you the video where it's talking about this, right? Notice that it says that how they've done it according to what which is different from the scriptures. The scripture says that Judah will be gathered to the four corners of the earth, and we saw when we read in Genesis, right, that Judah's what? Judah's black. So they can't be this people, number one, coming from these areas where they have the bunch of the albino races up over here, right? So if we're traveling, right, for the four corners of the earth, right, where Judah is coming from, we know that we do all black people, or supposedly black people, right? And we know they're black for sure because of how we read that, Judah's wife was a Canaanite. That's from Ham. So how is it possible for them to call themselves those people, where they say all together they're them, and they come from one area? You see what I'm saying? They only come from one area to the homeland. That's not what the scriptures say. The scriptures say that they're going to be gathered for the four corners of the earth, not traveling from one area to the damn homeland. These people, right, are not the people of the Bible, right? These people are the synagogue of Satan. Go ahead, Op.
No. You're right. Yeah. And right there, it should tell you. And see, people just if people would just do their research, I mean, it's simple. I don't know why. I don't know why so many people are duped. You know, and believing that only the West really believes that. If you go to other countries, I've been to other countries. They know that these people aren't who they say they are. You know, but because of the politics and everything, they just don't challenge it. They don't question it. But they know.
Just think about it, right? Kush and all those people, right? That's all in these areas, right? All of these areas up here, right? Even when we got carried out from Babylon, right? Even when we came out from Babylon, that's what modern day modern day Iraq over here in this area right here, right? We're not up here in the areas of the albinos. There is no scriptures, there is no time that it says we ever traveled over there. We're doing any of these things over here, right? That's a damn lie. Especially as we saw as we brought it straight from the scriptures to show you guys that what Judah wife was black. So let's say even by some offshoot chance, even though we know it is impossible for that to ever happen, that that Jacob was white. I mean not Jacob, but Judah was born albino or so crazy. I mean, he still married a black wife. The kids will still be black regardless of the situation. So it's like no matter how they want to cut it, right? These people can't prove their lineage. Even we can go to the scriptures. We can see even in the days of Ezra when they were trying to prove their lineage of the priesthood, right? They're saying that they were Levitical priests, that they didn't have the paperwork to show that they were from the Levites. That's way back then. So you trying to tell me that these same damn heathens still got their paperwork to say they're from the line of they're Jewish people, you know what I'm saying? Which are what? That's the whole southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Right? And we know what? They're all brothers. We all brothers. We all look alike. Came from three sisters, right? I mean 4 sisters. Zelpha, Bilhah, Rachel, and Leah. They all came from the same country. So it's like nothing that they can say, at this time that can ever convince people that actually know the scriptures, right? That these are the people of the Bible. That's why the Lord is giving them so much hell over there, right, man? They're going to have to get out the land. They over there doing wickedness, man. The land is the Most High's. And the Most High said the only way you can dwell in the land is if you keep the commandments. Is God's people have to keep the commandments. He sure don't want no dirty ass heathens over there. It's only going to be a matter of time, and I pray that we are allowed to see it, man, that they're going to get destroyed.
It ain't a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Khan.
And everything is set up, everything is happening as planned. But, in spite of it, it's like the world is still ignorant. Everybody wants to believe, oh, yeah, these are people because it's been politically correct in the people's minds. But the most high is wrecking house over there. I'm telling y'all. And y'all look at the war that's going on. I mean, it's not going to stop. It's increasing. And it's not going to stop until it all goes up in smokes. And that's going to be a day of rejoicing.
God, that's right. I'm going to bring out Slakia, man. Just the scripture itself, right? And I know we go over this before, but let me see something. Slakia is real. All right. Revelation 3:9, right? Because see, man, this is important. The exact way to read this, right? And I know we've gone over this before, but still, right? It says Revelation 3 verse 9, right? And I like the way that this is worded, right? It says, "Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan," right? Which we know, who those people are, right? Which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. The reason why this is an important verse is because when you read this, right, you really have to break down and see that Most High is literally talking about another nation of people. Because you're not going to come down and bow down and worship at your own brother's feet. The Most High is not going to have that, right? The Most High is either one or two. We got the judgments, and none of the judgments say you bow down to your other brother's feet. It's either you live or you die, right? There's no in between with the Most High, right? So you're not going to be made to do anything like that. So this is literally talking about another nation of people sitting there claiming to be us. knowing that they can't even stay out in they can't even stay out in the sun and get a tan without catching cancer. Man, these people are crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never set a world record. Ain't good at anything but wickedness.
Copying others, leeching off of others. Look at the music industry, especially the hip hop industry. Who do you think those folks are when you look at the tier 1s, tier 2s, and all that stuff? Those are the ish people.
They stealing from us every day, right? Right. These people are so wicked, right? That they are, right? They pimping out the real children of God while calling themselves the children of God. Right? Saying you can't speak against them because it's anti, you know what I'm talking about. Right? But the whole time that they're the ones that are truly anti, you know what I'm talking about. The messed up thing about it is that nobody's going to really recognize who we are because our people, we refuse to keep the laws, statutes, and the commandments. Everybody looks at us, they think about hoodlums, monkeys, right? Spirit chuckers and everything a lot in like that. That's what they think about us. Every time you look up, man, you see our people doing the utmost wickedness in the streets. Nobody's going to think about us as a son of God, you know what I'm saying, as the children of the Most High. Right? They don't read about the curses in Deuteronomy 28. This is only the real children of God that read about this stuff. Right? You know, man, they read some of that and they just skip it right over just like the Christians do. You know, a glance over through the scriptures. Man, they don't know the stuff that we do. They don't study the scriptures like we do because it's not their book.
That's right.
These people really have a grip on the world. Right, and a grip on the minds of the Israelites. Right, they flash a dollar bill with another race's face on there, and our people go crazy. We don't realize the deep hell that we're sitting in right now. Right, the flames are reaching to the door. Right, and we're still asleep. It's only going to come to, just like the Most High says. Right, you know, so after a while, it's gonna come to a point where, you know, it ain't gonna be nowhere else to look for. It ain't gonna be nowhere else to look to. Right? We're gonna have to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, or we're just gonna continue to get, you know, continue to suffering.
And you know the sad part about it, you would think that our people would have waken up. You know, brother, you sent me a video yesterday, and I was thinking, I was like, you know, it was about the gangs taking over the heavy gangs in Chicago. You know, and I'm like, that's something that the government planned because that was their whole idea, was to bring these folks over to oust our people out because they're a nuisance. They're being a menace. So hey, why not bring somebody else who's a menace and let them take out the other menace, and then they'll turn around and then take out the Venezuelans. You see what I'm saying? So that way they don't have to do it. They can't say that, oh well, we're gonna kill them and we're gonna take them out. No, bring another group in to kill them, take them out. And then we'll turn around and take out the Venezuelans. But our people, the point that I'm making is that our people are so dumb that it's like, now I know what the script, now I know what it means when the scripture says a stiff-necked people. You know, because they never learn until it's way too late. And when it's too late, it's too late. There's no turning back. You can't go back. It's just too late. Our people can't build up communities in that areas no more because it's too late. They've been ran out already. Our people are so divided now, like Brother Eitan was saying. I truly believe this is by grand design for the Most High because individually he's trying to get your attention, and if he has to put you on your back or in the grave, well, if you go to the grave, that's already too late. But he's trying to put you on your back so you can have that little chance of hope to repent. But if our people don't want to repent and want to continue to suffer, then how can you help them? You know.
Salakia. It says Zephaniah 3, right? It says the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies. Right. So if these folks were truly the remnant of Israel, they would be in the Holy Land, you know, holding those gigantic homosexual parties, right? Nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, for they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Right, but right now, man, them boys, you know, having a hard time, you know, fighting, you know, who them boys fighting? You know, what I'm saying, who them clowns fighting?
Hezbollah, they fighting those Arabs over there.
Yeah, them, damn,
Hezbollah, something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. It'll come to me in a minute. That's why I'm getting on. Salakia. Right. It says, sing, O daughter.
The Palestinians, that's what they fight.
Yeah, that's right. Khan, right? The Palestinians, right? Them boys over there, catching hell.
So-called, well, they're not really true Palestinians, but that's what they fight.
The more
Palestinians, the Palestinians were definitely black.
All right. It says, sing, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart. O daughter of Jerusalem. The Lord hath taken away thy judgments. He hath cast out thine enemy. The King of Israel, even the Lord, is in the midst of thee. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. Right? We don't see the Lord here. Right? This right here, this is the Old Testament. And in that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thy hands be slack. The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save thee. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will rather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, whom to the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gathereth her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Has that been happening? No. Matter of fact, half of America, and other nations, they can't stand so-called Israel right now. Right? But look at it, right? And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Have they been in every land? We have been in every land. Man, you go to the Olympics, man, you see black people in China, you see Israelites in China, Israelites in Russia and in Germany, all these other different countries, man. You see our people over there competing, and you be like, hold up, man, I know they ain't, you know what I'm saying? It says, and at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I will gather you. For I will make you a name and praise among all the people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. No folks ain't in captivity. We're in captivity. It may not look like it, but look, you look around and you don't have a land. You got somebody else's last name. You don't have an army. You don't even have a nationality. You don't even have your customs. You have nothing. This is why we need the Most High to save us. This is why we need to be saved from our enemies, like it says in Luke 168.
Let me see something Hosea right quick.
Bring it out, Doc.
Let's see here. Bring it up. All right, here it is right here. Let me highlight it right quick. This is where we are. It says, for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image. That's important. Without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. It's our customs. These people over there claiming to be practicing, they claim to have a culture, they claim to have a tradition that they're living, and they're claiming to be Israel. Nothing can be far from the truth. When this scripture right here says that for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image. They have an image. Their image is money.
And like we saw that they ruled over those other nations, right? They came in being a small people, and they just overran Germany, right? What are they doing here? They're doing the same thing here, right? Convinced a lot of y'all to get that COVID shot. For real, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, right, the head of the CDC was one of them boys.
Yep. I wasn't touching that stuff, man.
Hey, man. Salakia, right? Y'all don't see what's going on? They're the synagogue of Satan. Right? Those are the folks you got to watch. They also funded the slave ships.
Yep.
For millions and millions and millions of us to come over here stacked upon each other, feces and fecal matter dropping upon us, menstrual cycles dropping upon us as we're traveling through these boats across these waters, as after being sold out by the Hamite Africans. We have a hell of a history. But the thing is that even after these thousands of years, we have still yet to realize that everything that has come upon our people, we brought it upon ourselves. Hey, what you doing?
Yep.
Making beats over there?
Sure
Right.
am.
Con.
It's war drums, man. Get ready.
War
Get
drum.
ready for them horns, man. Get ready for these nations to fall.
Scripture says it's going to be bad when the Most High comes back. Think about it, thousands of years of his people doing wickedness and not getting it. You don't think the Most High going to be mad? It says blood up to the horse's bridle. These other heathens that are help guiding it, creating these cell phones and these apps and these things that keep you locked in and glued down to wickedness. Man, the Most High going to get them too. How much more so them? If they, you know what I'm saying? If the Most High know he gonna have to punish us, I don't even want to, man, to be a heathen. It's gonna be terrifying. They don't get nothing but the lake of fire. You better be glad that you at least get a chance to repent, and maybe the Most High save you.
Let me show you something. Look at Zechariah 1:15. It says, "I am very sore displeased." Well, let me start 14. It says, "So the angel that commanded with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction." See, the Most High had his plan for us, but he knew all this was going to happen because, they just building up coals for themselves. But these heathens, they forwarded the affliction. Now, granted, yeah, we are wicked people, and our people, it doesn't help that our people fall into wickedness. But, we're not all to blame because these heathens, they forwarded and they turned us into liquid money. They they created the hoods. They created all kinds of stuff. And they're going to make sure, as long as we're on this earth, that we're not going to get Jack Diddley. Or that's what they're going to try to make sure. You see what I'm saying? They don't. Yeah, people talk about reparations all the time. They're gonna make sure that we don't get 1 cent of that. But the Most High is not concerned about reparations because we're going to take their sons and daughters for slaves and handmaids.
They don't want that though.
No, they don't want that. And see, this is why these nations don't want to go to war, because they don't want to lose their kingdom. Every time I hear somebody talking about, oh, they're gonna go to war and stuff like that, I'm like, man, these heathens ain't ready to lose their stuff. They ain't ready to lose their money. They're not ready to lose their power. They're not ready to push that button yet. They're not ready for that.
Glorious when they do, though. I mean, when it does get to that point, hey, Israel, y'all can start clapping y'all hands because it's about that time. It's about that time.
Yeah. Yep. So we gotta. The only way that we're gonna rise up as a people, there's no other way. The Most High is throwing it in your faces. The only way that you're gonna have to get right is you kind of get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes. There's no other way. We had many great leaders. All right, Chairman Fred was probably the only one that brought the government to their knees in fear.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, he did it at the age of 21. But he was just one person. He didn't have no army. He didn't have no political structure power. But yet they feared because they knew that there was a possibility that these brothers could come together and rise up. And it's funny because they always use somebody on the inside to take down our own people. It's never one of theirs on the outside. It's always somebody on the inside to take down our own people.
That's right, Doc.
Yeah. So
Isaiah chapter 10.
So just let that sink in for a little bit.
Let that sink in for a long, but it says Isaiah chapter 10, right? And it shall come to pass that in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. Right? Because look at us right now, right? We're staying upon the one that is smiting us. It's their laws, right? We're living under their statutes and their commandments. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God, right? The Almighty of the Father. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, right? This is a cut to the cant doctrine. Though as thy people be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness, right? It says a remnant of them shall return. So that's why when you look at these false cap doctrines, when they talk about all these other different nations and all together, oh man, you're sand of the sea. And those folks, they have not studied the Israel. Well, even if they have looked into the scriptures, they ignore that part of the scriptures, right? That's one thing about, even when Brother Daniel and I, we read some things and we don't like it, right? It's not our, it's not our choice whether or not to like it or not. It's in there, right? It's in there. The laws, statutes, and commandments are in there. You have to eat the whole meal. You just can't, oh, I don't like the vegetables, so I just want to eat, the candy yams and my macaroni and cheese, right? But I don't want to eat the broccoli, I don't want to eat the squash, I don't want to eat the whole meal. But you got to eat the whole meal. Nobody's eating the whole meal. Everybody has their own pick-me doctrine, besides Brother Daniel and myself, and I know some other people as well that you guys, right, that are here with us. Y'all eat the whole meal. But we see that what if even if a small portion of the earth ate the whole meal, they would see that those people are not the people of the land, right? But it seems to be too much of a conundrum, too much of a big problem for them to all of a sudden now, denounce those people, denounce those people of the land. Yeah, man, you ask me, man, they look like every other, white people. They look the same. They look just like every other white people. They just grow their beards out. Right? Freaking mountain man. Weak species. Right? Only thing they do, they're master of wickedness, which is why the scriptures that say that they are what? The synagogue of Satan. We know that the scripture speaks about these particular people. Right? We know that the scripture is speaking about these particular people. Who knows, right? There might be other people too on the earth that come and say that they're supposed to be these particular people. So that's about it, Israel. We don't want to go on too long, right? And play this again, right? Y'all probably want to download it, right? And especially that translation that we had on AH and how he was explaining how those folks were invading his land and doing the same thing that they're doing over here and everywhere else that they've been. Brother Daniel.
All right, Yasharel. Well, hey, I pray that you can continue to enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. For those of you that are still in the States, whether if you're in the East Coast, West Coast, enjoy your Shabbat, or our Shabbat, the Most High's holy Shabbat. So with that being said, we're going to bid you a hearty Shabbat Shalom.
And stay strong, Israel.